The final preparation is complete. My bags are packed and it's time to leave my familiar life for a few days. I'll be cycling and sleeping in my tent for 3 nights and seeing what inner and outer adventures unfold. My cat sees me off and she'll have her own adventure of a different servant meeting her once. As I left home to catch a train from Dublin to Galway, it struck me that ensuring I catch this train would be the last commitment I had to keep or job that I had to do for a few days. 48 hours before starting this trip, I finished reading Dervla Murphy's Full Tilt for the very first time. It was an added bonus to come across her writing and show how one can live this life. This is the cycling route I ended up taking. I'm back in the lovely Connemara again. I'm actually in an area that I've never been. At the moment I'm about 42 or 3 kilometres outside Galway city. I've been cycling for the last while. I haven't done much filming because most of this road is actually took me as far as Russaville, which is the road I went on when I went out to Inishmaan, which is 9 months ago. So I've continued and I'm going along a coastline that I've actually never driven on, let alone cycled. So the purpose of this trip is really to explore this coastline that I've never been on. The area I'm going to start with, where I hope to camp tonight, it's known as Ceannt, so that translates as region of islands. So there's a number of islands that are connected with bridges through to the mainland, and also there's a number of tidal islands as well. And I've actually never been over here. So I'm going to make an easy trip out of it, and I have my tent as usual, and I'm going to camp for 3 nights, which I've never done. Most I've ever done is 2 nights. So today will have been quite a long day cycling, and the next days will hopefully not necessarily hopefully, but my plan is to take my time and enjoy this area. I've no idea what kind of distance I'm going to end up doing. Literally, it's one of these trips where I don't have much of a plan. I'm a great planner. So this is just a little bit more free, which is just a really nice way to be going into a trip. I know the general area that I'm trying to aim to for tonight, and beyond that I'm just going to see how it takes me. So talk to you again. I'm retracing some of the road that I passed through yesterday. So I've left Lettermullan and I went then into Furnace Island, then back over the west side of Garumna up to Lettermore, and I'm out through Lettermore now, and I'm going to be taking another turn left at about 2 kilometres. A noisy truck go by, and then I'm going to be heading north, and it won't be a road I've been on before. It's a bit after 12 o'clock, I think. I'm probably going to get out of the sun for a couple of hours and just let it cool down a bit and then do a little bit more cycling. I've joined the dark side of dehydrating my own food. I'm doing it a couple of months now. Bought myself a dehydrator. So tonight's meal is pasta with some dehydrated vegetables and dehydrated tomato sauce as well. So the vegetables that are in here, there's courgettes and peppers and mushrooms, onion, bit of broccoli, and then also I have a little sachet here where I have some herbs, some nutritional yeast, which is meant to give it kind of like a cheesy consistency, and then there's some dehydrated milk as well. So once I add the water, the vegetables will rehydrate, so I leave it to sit for about 5 minutes in water, soaking in water. Then I'll bring it to the boil for about 2 minutes, and then I'll leave it sit for a further 10 minutes. So it's just added a lot more variety to the food that I can bring away on my camping trips. I do like my food, and yes, it definitely is a bit of effort in the preparing, but it's so nice to be able to have like such a substantial meal from my tent, and very handy for multi-day trips like this. Hopefully I'm in shot. So my dehydrated food was sitting for 5 minutes, rehydrating in water. Then I boiled it for 2 minutes, and I'm just going to add my seasoning. I meant to also say that there was there's kidney beans and black beans in this as well, and those beans were put through the dehydrator as well. So I'm just going to add this, and I'll show you what it looks like so you get an idea of the consistency. And when I leave it to sit for another 10 minutes, it'll absorb a bit more of the water, so it won't be as runny. So the pasta that I used, it's a fettuccine, a spinach fettuccine. So that's what the green thing is. So hopefully you can see this. It's probably a bad idea to put the camera in this position. Anyway, I'm going to leave that sit for 10 minutes and then gobble it up. Good morning from Inis Ní. I'm going to keep walking around here because there's some midges about, and they were around last night as well. It was a really still night last night, not a breath of wind, quite a dead heat. Little uncomfortable in the tent, didn't sleep too well last night. Slept very well the first 2 camps that I had. So Inis Ní it's a bit tough trying to find a good place to camp. I couldn't come across any beaches, and there's a road, the Inis Ní, when you look at the map, there's like 3 sections to the island, and I'm in the third, the furthest one along. And there's a road that goes along down through the island, and I followed that road to the end, but it left me too far away from the coast, and it would have been just too difficult terrain to be dragging the bike across. So I'm back about a third of my way through the third section of the island. I'd spotted an area, so where I'm camped, I'm completely out of view of any of the houses around. And this is Roundstone over here. It's about 3 kilometers away, I think, from where I am. I actually went over to Roundstone yesterday before coming in here, as I needed to get water. So I'm gonna pack up shortly and hit the road and take my time for my final cycle. It's been a wonderful trip as ever. After 2 days I was kind of thinking I was done. But I had a wonderful day yesterday. Really did, really nice. And let's hope day 4 is just as good. back in my favourite city in Ireland, which is Galway City. I caught the bus from Clifton back to here, and I'm just killing some time before I get the train back to Dublin. Thanks very much for watching the video, and maybe some of these places that I visited might inspire you. They're definitely places that aren't that prominent on the tourist trail, so very quiet places, which is just a joy to cycle in. See you again. Bye bye.